Hello and welcome to the Illuminating Crossroads community. My name's Lisette, and today we're going to do a quick energetic check-in, if you will. I was just chilling and I felt called to do a reading, so this is a message for all of us, but just wanting to share this in case it supports you along your journey. So as always, please allow yourself to use your discernment when listening to the messages and only taking that which truly strikes a chord within your heart and allows you to feel inspired and empowered along your journey. So I did already pull the cards out, at least to start with, because I was kind of like, well, what's the intention behind this reading? And setting up the space was really interesting because I did see things. It was interesting because I was about to start the reading at 5:55, but then some things happened and it didn't exactly start at that time. And then I had started a recording and I was about to turn off the recording because I did some more stuff to just energetically set up the space. And then it was 5:55 again on the timer for the video, but it kind of it still wasn't catching it. And then my electric lighter that I use sometimes, the battery just died, which it showed that it was charged though, so that was interesting. And then you probably can't tell, but this candle here, I went to go light it and then the little nib at the end kind of fell off, but it's lit. It's just really, 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 really dim. So you can't see it, which is really interesting. So I'm just sharing all of these things because right now, if you are watching this video or you're tuning into it, there might be this essence of you are trying to make changes, but maybe things keep feeling like you're just missing the mark, or it's something is just it's not happening for you. And this is to really say to you that it's not that you're missing the mark or that changes aren't happening. It's just that whatever you're trying to change within or whatever you're trying to do, it is very it's this very deeply rooted. I'm almost seeing this weed that has just been growing and growing and growing, and its roots are just so deep that every time you keep trying to make a change, you keep feeling like you're missing the mark because there's this aspect of you that is essentially dimming your light. So if you are finding some difficulties or feeling really drained right now as well, this is a very important time to really honor what it is that invites a sense of lightheartedness and curiosity and wonder. So looking at this inner child card here, and now the light is starting, oh my gosh, look at that. And then now the light is shining brighter. So there's this emphasis of not focusing on the things that you're not seeing happening or not changing, but really coming back to this core essence of your inner innocence, so that you can allow yourself to actually uproot this weed that has rooted so deeply within your energetic body. And be it if you do it consciously or subconsciously, it doesn't, I'm feeling it doesn't necessarily matter. The thing that matters is that you're igniting your inner your spark again, right? So this inner child card represents solar plexus. So really working with this fire elemental spirit in your body, because it's almost like that in itself will like burn that weed, so those roots they're no longer rooted within your energetic system. So really allowing yourself to find things that like maybe since inner child is here, maybe kind of reflecting a little bit, was there things that you enjoyed doing as a child that you've kind of been, or like when you were younger, it doesn't have to be really young, but things that you once did that you've been kind of thinking or contemplating on doing again, and how can you allow yourself to kind of like move with that inspiration, that idea, so then you can kind of open up to allowing for this heat spirit to flow through you again and not be so much within the mind. And especially the card is 18 here, so that is a 9, and 9 is really about this essence of like we're coming to a completion with a cycle, we're honoring like what has been mastered, and how are we choosing to embody different aspects of ourself more fully. And with these cards here of honesty and visualization, so we have the throat chakra and the third eye here. This is showing also like as you're also really tending to your innocence, your fire, right? So this amethyst might be really supportive to you. That's the crystals that's holding the candle, and it's contained, right? And I was shuffling cards and I was shocked that the flame didn't go out. So that's really showing that like don't worry or feel or think, although I know it can be hard sometimes, but it's coming through, like don't worry if you're not seeing that spark within yourself right now. It's there. It just takes a little bit of intention to kind of get those flames ignited again, especially with the visualization card. So this is like tuning in and really like seeing what is it that you are desiring to experience. How can you play with your imagination to kind of tune into like what is it that you want to manifest, to cultivate within your life. There's a full moon here, so that's making me think of the full moon coming up in Scorpio. I believe it will be on May 12th. I could be wrong, around that time. But also like really getting focused on like not choosing to continue to put all of your energy on the lack of changes that you're seeing externally, but to bring your focus more inward, because this will show you actually areas of where you have experienced change. And maybe even like in sitting in meditation, seeing if you can sit with your inner child and see, is there any wisdom or information they'd like to share with you, or is there anything that they've been desiring to kind of have a little bit more input in within your life. So really consulting those parts of yourself to help you come back into wholeness as well, since now the flame is more full and it's more vibrant in its essence. So just thinking of you and the energetics of your system. And then with the honesty here, this is showing, and also this was 40, so 4, and then this is 31, which also breaks down to a 4, when you add the 3 and 1. So this is really showing about stability as well. So this is gaining kind of like, I'm like feeling, seeing like almost this new footing of also allowing yourself to really bring awareness to the ways that you allow for deeper trust within your life, and how you cultivate this essence of safety too. So allowing yourself to feel or cultivate more safety within, like, I'm really feeling like being authentic in how you're communicating, or knowing that you can speak and be transparent and share your truth, and in doing that, allowing yourself to really honor to honor this deeper truth that can support with bringing life back into your system. So that means like maybe even thinking of like, if you are communicating with your inner child or these parts of yourself, how can you allow for like transparency in the emotions that you're feeling, in the sensations that are arising, and then how can you allow yourself to honor that, specifically your needs, as you are like meeting others or just going about your like day-to-day task. So then you can choose to be more honest with those around you or your environment, of like, if you're needing something to change, or if you're not feeling comfortable or what have you, because it's like you're unlocking, I'm seeing like this door of allowing yourself to know that like you're listening, and the more that you listen, then the more that you can allow yourself to consciously co-create more as you continue to move forward. So yeah, and the butterflies that I'm seeing here are really also making me just think of like, this essence of like metamorphosis or transformation. It is in allowing yourself to come back toward this innocence and to communicate in sincerity, and to really focus on what it is that you're not only experiencing in this moment, but like what it is that you're sensing ahead, and trusting that even if you don't have the like full big picture, if you will. And then here we have self-expression. So this card is 32, which is interesting because it's right after the 31 card. So we have this progression, and the keywords are vocalization, individuality, inner voice, assertiveness, and self-expression, which I think I already said. So this is really beautiful though, because here it's like the key is unlocking the throat here, right? So that essence of expression, but it's like there's this importance of really being honest, so then you can allow yourself the opportunity to know like what it is that you even want to vocalize, and to listen to that inner voice, and to also trust in your individual experience and how you're expressing your perspective or your perception, and knowing that it's okay to share those things, to do those things, all the things. And then I'm just focusing on the branch here that the bird is sitting on. So this is really making me think of like grounding practices. And I can even speak from like personal experience. Sometimes when we are trying to voice our truth more and be transparent in ways that maybe we were once afraid to do or felt like we couldn't do. It is really supportive to make sure that we're really grounded in our body, because then we're not getting swept away with the emotions. And then 2, Census card is below, the inner child card, also really tapping in as you are communicating with others, allowing yourself to tap into this, as I always like to say, that like innate innocence that exists within everyone, because then we can meet the conversation with more purity as opposed to distortion, because then we're not, there's not an emphasis on like this me against them. It's just like we are just as we are, and one is merely sharing and expressing, so giving, and one is doing the same but reciprocating, so then one is now receiving type deal. I hope that made sense. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pull a couple cards from the Starseed Oracle deck. And the inner child card is also like in this dancing motion, so and especially with throat chakra here, so if there is some issues with allowing yourself to be expressed and to be honest, it can be supportive to maybe tune into sounds that like nourish you, or maybe I'm like tuning into like, because the birds here, like, you know how like birds just, they do their thing, you know, and clearly others like us as humans we can find them to be beautiful or annoying, or we could be indifferent, but it's like the bird is still gonna speak the bird's song, if you will. So maybe like observing that in your own life and allowing that to kind of inspire you towards this more lightheartedness in life. Okay, and then we have 2 cards here. So the first card we have is We the Hawthors, Deep Love, Mother's Milk, Birth as a Portal. And then we have Activated Earth, Power Places, Ley Lines, Trust Where You Are Led. So Hawthor coming out here, Hawthors are also like deeply connected to music, for my belief system, or what have you. So maybe it could be supportive to connect with the Hawthors. But I'm really getting this essence of like coming back to that flame, right? When it was like not even, it was barely like, I'm honestly, I'm still like, how was it lit? And interesting enough, because it was so dim, the light from the flame was blue. So the throat chakra again. But I'm really feeling this essence with this card of like, what brings you deep nourishment, and how can you allow yourself, like, and allows you to be in this place of receiving such deep love that you feel like it's almost like everything else just melts away, and you're just here, and allowing yourself to really trust where you're being led, like where it says here, knowing that like the timing is fine, even though if it doesn't feel like it, that you're in the right place right now, and you're just being called to find more lightness and to open up to receiving more, because the more that you open up to receiving more, the more that you feel worthy of receiving more, then the more that you can be given, and you move through that change that you're seeking. So it's no longer, which I feel like this has been like a really big collective theme, but it's no longer a forced change, because now it's with ease, it flows. And when we think of power places and ley lines, you know, these are places where, like, I always just think of the water under the ground, and the components of like how like things move and travel, and how the energy moves as well, and where they come into these meeting points. It's like the more that you allow yourself to rest within this, to trust what's coming up as you're like sitting in meditation, or what's illuminated, not just this upcoming full moon, but within each full moon, that you get to find deeper nourishment and reconnection, like not just to yourself, but towards what it is that is surrounding you in each moment, so that you can allow yourself to open up to receiving maybe more of these like subtle energies of support that are trying to guide you and lead you as you move forward. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull one last card. I feel like I'm going to do an Ancestors and Oracle card. So we'll just see if there's any closing messages from any ancestors or angels. And I do kind of feel called to read We the Hathors, or Hathors, from the book. Okay. All right. So the card we have here is Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. So I think that that's really interesting, especially thinking of that weed that we were talking about in the beginning, because it's so interesting though, because it feels, I'm feeling as if it doesn't necessarily like, it doesn't feel like it's something that you have to like I'm just thinking of there's not this like deeper investigation, or like oh, there's all these secret puzzles and like I can't find what the fear is. It seems like it's very like in this essence of honesty. It feels like it's something that's very apparent in your awareness. And one of the things that I believe is very true within life is that when we are honoring our fears are showing us like pings or little like fragments of our desires. And sometimes when we are not feeling worthy of these things that we're desiring, then we can get really stuck sometimes. So this may, if it does resonate with you, this may mean like, yeah, what does it mean to like to track down like what are the things, or what are the habits and such that are no longer serving you, or what are the things that allow you, I'm really feeling this essence of feeling strong and resilient and courageous and bold. So really thinking of like like Aries, Leo energy. And then like tying in Sagittarius energy for like that truth. So these are all of our fire signs. So it's like that initiating force, that sustaining force, but that shifting. And really maybe even just contemplating on that, like, yeah, I hope that made sense. Okay, so I'm gonna read the We the Hawthorns from the book and close it out. So, okay, perfect. So here we have birth is a portal that ushers in new life. The Hawthorns are here to remind you that you're a child of the cosmic mother and you're being called to be held by her deep, never-ending love and embrace. This is a tender, nourishing card reminding you to receive the deep, deep love of the mother's embrace. The Hawthorns know that the journey on earth can be rocky and lonely at times, but you're being reminded to rest more deeply in the mother's arms. This is a card of extreme potency, of femininity, of creation, and of birth. You're being called to mother yourself and others too, to surrender to your sacred femininity, to create and surrender to your own creations, to hold and be held. You're being called to remember your place in the web of life and to realize that the cosmic mother is watching you every step of the way. You may be going through a transition right now, moving from one way of being to another. If so, you're being reminded that you're cradled in a sacred container. Yes. That you're more held than you can possibly imagine, and that you have access to more love than your heart can bear. If you're struggling in any way, you're being reassured that things will work out. Open yourself to receiving the overflowing love of the cosmic mother, flooding toward you from every direction. Let it stretch your heart. And then it says the starseed activation. Place the card of the portal on your heart and whisper the following. I allow the deep love of the cosmic mother to wash over me. I'm loved. I'm held. I allow the deep love of the cosmic mother to wash over me. I'm loved. I'm held. Beautiful. And I do just want to say that, so the page that this card is on is 122, which breaks down to a 5. We have 5 here. And then when I was talking in the beginning about that, the like 555s, but it was just like kind of missing the mark. So this is change, and change is a bit uncomfortable sometimes, especially when we don't know. We're in this liminal space sometimes, and it just requires like that trusting where you're led, where you're being called to go towards, and how you can recharge your energy in your power places, like where gives you strength and nourishment. Yes. And then the second page, the very next page for the rest of the description for the card is on page 123. So we have 1, 2, 3. So it's that moving forward, that succession, which we also had with 31 and then 32. So nonetheless, I hope this reading supported you. If it did, please let me know down below in the comments. This was kind of impromptu, so sending you much love and many blessings on your journey. And until next time, thank you and take care. Bye.